Now, Esther, I think we should start with something basic. We hear about and we talk about the mind-body connection, but few people are really prepared to give us the lowdown on really scientifically what it is we're talking about. So, for example, we can use me as the guinea pig. So I step out in front of a room full of people, my heart rate goes up a little bit, something starts flushing through my system, it makes my senses more acute if it's working right. If not, I fall down right there any moment, but that's not going to happen. What happens when our body is under stress, and how does it connect the mind and body?
So first of all, what you described is good stress, right? It's the good part of the stress. So there's good stress and bad stress. And I liken it to a rainbow. So if you imagine a rainbow over the stage, and over there in the music section, is, you're calm and relaxed, and maybe you guys aren't because you're playing the music, but if I were lying down on the floor there, I'd be totally relaxed, and I wouldn't be performing, and you'd be bored, and you would be stressed, right? And so I have to get my stress response, that part of the brain that makes you have clearer vision, more focused attention, more energy, actually the fight or flight response, but it's what allows you to do the job, to get the job done. I have to turn that on to a certain extent to be able to perform at peak, no matter what task you're performing. In this case, we're talking, but whatever you're doing in your daily lives. And that's the middle of the rainbow, so it's right above the stage over there. So you want your stress response to be turned on just right. The problem occurs if the stress response is turned on too much, and that's when you freeze and you fall over the edge of the rainbow. So the goal is not to get rid of stress. So stress is life and life is stress. Hans Selye, who coined the word stress, said that. And we can't get rid of bad things that happen, and we need our stress response to get out of those bad situations, to cope, to be resilient. Mm-hmm. So the goal is not to get rid of stress, and the goal is not to get rid of the stress response. In science, we know that trying to get rid of the stress response, ablate the brain's stress center, get rid of the genes that are involved in expressing those stress hormones and nerve chemicals that allow you to have that stress response. That's not compatible with life. So whether you're a fruit fly, a cat, a rat, a human, a fish, a salmon, whatever, everything in between, you need your stress response. The goal is to have that optimal amount, that stress response turned on just right for the task at hand. And as you said, what happens when we get into these situations is there's a center in the brain called the hypothalamus that starts pumping out. That's the brain's stress center that pumps out a hormone called CRH, or corticotropin releasing hormone. I'm going to pass out a quiz at the end so everybody...
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And spelling counts.
Yeah. A lot of abbreviations. But the bottom line is these molecules and hormones have names, and there's a cascade of hormones that are released starting from the brain. Ultimately, the adrenal glands release cortisol. We all know it as cortisone. Everybody who's used cortisone cream for a poison ivy rash or cortisone nose spray for rhinitis or for asthma knows that cortisone is one of the most potent anti-inflammatory drugs that our body makes. So what happens is when you're chronically stressed, you are pumping out this anti-inflammatory hormone that tunes down your immune cells' ability to do their job, to fight infection, to heal wounds, to survey against cancer, and to get rid of cancer cells just as they're popping up. It helps to repair aging chromosomes. So people who are chronically stressed, their chromosomes can look 10 to 17 years older than their biological age. So if that's not a reason to do something about coping with stress, I don't know what is. But stress does not cause the common cold or the flu. We know that people who are chronically stressed have more frequent, more severe viral infections, slower wound healing, speeding of cancer growth, and speeding of chromosomal aging. Stress does not cause the flu. The flu bug causes the flu. Stress does not cause cancer. Your genes and various factors in the environment cause cancer. Stress does not cause wounds. Wounding causes wounds. And stress does not cause aging. Aging causes aging. But the stress hormones and nerve chemicals that are released when you are stressed chronically make all those processes worse. And so that's a reason to try to do what we can to learn to cope with those stressful situations, knowing that we can't get rid of it.
Mm-hmm. And is the stress response in women different? Are there differentials for gender?
There are differences, and Shelley Taylor at UCLA coined the word. So we all know the word fight or flight, right? Okay, fight or flight is the stress response, or is the stress behavior that was coined probably about 100 years ago by a male scientist. Shelley Taylor at University of California, Los Angeles, coined the term tend and befriend, because there is a gender difference. Again, whether you're a mouse, a cat, a rat, a human, females tend to take care of and join in groups, create friendships. And that is a coping mechanism for stress amongst females. Little mice will, huddle together and, talk to each other and take care of each other. and human females do as well. And it's actually a very effective, it doesn't mean men don't do it. And it doesn't mean women don't have a fight or flight response. Of course we do. But there is this pattern that happens in females. And probably it's partly cultural, but you can't say it's cultural if mice do it. So part of it is, biological. Mm-hmm. You can actually look on the web under fighting fruit flies, and you can see differences in patterns of fighting between male and female fruit flies. So if you don't believe me, you can check it out.